The people of the village often talked about the stories of the forest. The forest was dense and mysterious. One day, a woodcutter from village named Raghu set out to the forest to cut wood for his wife and children. The villagers had warned him not to go far inside the forest, but Raghu thought that they were just cowards. After entering the forest, Raghu saw many big trees. He started cutting a tree with his axe. As soon as he made the first strike, he heard a strange sound. He stopped and looked around, but saw nothing. He started cutting wood again, but now he realized that the sound was echoing inside his head. Raghu saw that the bark of the tree was bleeding. He was shocked and stepped back. He thought it might be his imagination, but then he saw a shadow. The shadow was slowly approaching him. Frightened, Raghu tried to run fast, but his legs were frozen. He saw that the shadow turned into a giant body with 6 arms. Raghu was breathless and tried to scream, but the voice died in his throat. The 6-armed woodcutter came towards him and looked into his eyes and said, "You have made a mistake by coming to my place." Raghu fell unconscious on the ground. When he opened his eyes, he found himself in the dark cave. His hands and legs were tied. When he looked around, he found out that the cave was a part of an old fort. There were skeletons and bones scattered all around. Raghu tried to open his bindings, but they were tied too tight. Just then, he heard a woman scream. The scream was so scary that Raghu's heart started beating fast. When he listened carefully, he realized that the scream was coming from nearby. Suddenly, a 6-armed woodcutter appeared before Raghu's eyes. He held Raghu with his 6 hands and looked deep into his eyes and said, "I was once the protector of this forest, but greed and deceit changed me into this form. Now I am the master of the spirits of this forest." He told Raghu that he was once an ordinary woodcutter, but on entering the forest, he saw an ancient treasure. The spirits guarding the treasure cursed him, and he became a 6-armed demon. Raghu heard this and understood that he had to break this curse. He asked the woodcutter, "Is there any way I can free you from this curse?" The woodcutter replied, "Yes, but for this you have to prove your courage." Raghu made a plan in his mind and said to the woodcutter, "I am ready. Tell me what I have to do." The woodcutter told him to go to a secret place where the treasure was hidden. He had to touch that treasure and prove his truthfulness. Raghu broke free from his bonds and bravely set out towards that secret place in the forest. He faced many difficulties on the way. Wild animals and invisible forces stopped him, but he faced them all with his courage and patience. Finally, he reached the place where the treasure was hidden. He saw that the treasure was hidden under a huge stone. Raghu removed the stone with all his might and saw the treasure. His eyes lit up as soon as he saw the treasure, but he controlled his greed. As soon as Raghu touched the treasure, a ray of light spread all around. Suddenly, the 6-armed woodcutter appeared there, and his shadow slowly turned into a normal form. The woodcutter was now a normal man again. There were tears of gratitude in his eyes. He thanked Raghu and said, "Your courage and selflessness freed me from this curse. Now I can bid farewell to the spirits of this forest in peace." Raghu also felt that he had given a new direction, not only to the woodcutter, but also to himself. Raghu took leave from the woodcutter and left the forest. When he reached the village, everyone was amazed to hear his courage and heroic story. Raghu felt that he has freed not only a curse but also his soul. He hugged his wife and children and told them the whole story. This story of Raghu now became an inspiration in the village. People learned from him that courage, selflessness, and patience are the keys to true victory. Raghu was no longer an ordinary woodcutter, but he had become the hero of the village. He learned from his experience that one should never give up in life and should always stick to one's principles. If you like this story, then subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.